Hi YouTube family, it is a late day for me today. I'm not going into work till later. Just thought I would say hello since I've been kind of MIA lately. A lot going on. I know I say that all the time, but it really is. Work has been busier than usual, unfortunately. And if you are new to my channel and you don't know what I do by day I work in a funeral home. So, if that tells you anything, some things, you know, I've got a lot going on. Like I always say, I'm always busy. But I will say something. You know, I'm very open about my ADHD and dealing with it. And one of the things I did for myself, which honestly, it's been very hard to try to make it affordable for myself, is I hired somebody to clean my house. Now, it's not that I'm like an extremely messy person. I'm just being a reseller. And again, if you're new to my channel, I do a lot of reselling. I have a booth. And now I started selling on a website called Vented. And so anyways, oh dear God, I just realized my shirt's backwards. See, that shows you my life. So I do have a lot of stuff I've got to get put in my booth, and I have packages that I need to open. This is so sad because these packages are from my friend Allison, and Allison's Life After 55, and she sent me these. These were my birthday gifts that she sent me, and I have yet to sit down and get to open them, and I wanted to open them and film it so that y'all can see it too. So anyways, Allison, I've not forgotten you. They're there, and I've been dying to open them, but I thought, no, I want to do content, and I want to share with my YouTube family what you sent me for my birthday. And so that's a lot going on there. I said with ADHD, it's always a hassle because, you know, I'm just constantly going. But I was telling you about having my house cleaned, and really, it's not in my budget. But it has been the best thing I've ever done for myself mentally. And I had my doctor's appointment yesterday, just my regular yearly appointment. She understands my ADHD because sadly she's married to the male version of me. And so I had talked to her about some of my ADHD meds and they see a psychiatrist, nurse practitioner, and I have to go to them once a month to have my meds prescribed. And it just was getting very, very hard because, you know, I had to pay the copay every month. And my copay is like $50 a month. Then you had to go get your medicines. So thankfully, after having a nice little discussion with my PA, physician's assistant, she's going to help my meds for me, you know, and that makes me feel better, simply because I won't have to go but every 3 months, and it won't cost me a $50 copay. So and some of you have suggested that to me, but I didn't do it that way simply because I thought I was supposed to go to a specialized ADHD doctor, and I did, but as my PA told me, it's really best that they have a psychiatrist, certified person to diagnose adult ADHD. And so I've been going to her for like 3 years. So that's going to help me save a little money. And then, like I said, starting to have my house clean mentally has been very good for me. And it, like I said, financially, but I'm learning to cut corners other places. I mow my yard and weed eat. And not that I have a huge yard and a weed eat area, but I don't know. I just come home in the evening. I work all day, and I know, you know, I just turned 60, and not that I'm like unable to do all that stuff. It's just mentally overwhelming. And then, like I said, I do my YouTube, and I do reselling on the side, which I have a booth. And then, like I said, I sell on an online platform right now. And so I'm learning to delegate some things that need to be delegated. I don't like to ask people to help me unless I'm going to pay them. But my doctor was very happy with me doing that because, well, my PA, she was very happy that I was starting to kind of delegate some things, and so I've told her, I said, I've had to learn to cut corners in other places so that I can afford these things. And it's just better for my mental health. Yeah. And, I do struggle because, like I said, I'm not married, and I don't like to ask my kids to help me to do things, and I'm not in a relationship. And so I just pretty much feel like I have to do everything myself. And so eliminating some things off of my plate mentally has been very helpful for me. And again, it might not be affordable for everybody, and it really isn't affordable for me. But I just have learned to had to cut corners, places, don't eat out as much, and I'm working on my mental health and trying to keep my space clear, keep my mind clear. That's what's been going on with me. In the last few days, I've been babysitting my daughter's dogs. So that's been kind of stressful because I've been having to give 2 dogs insulin twice a day. Then my little dog had a little problem, one of my little dogs, so I've been having to give her antibiotics twice a day. And anyway, so yeah, as a little old lady, I have a lot. And like I said, I work full time. I am working on my apprenticeship as far as my my funeral director license, which mainly I work in a funeral home and I do all that stuff anyway. This is my grand dog. She is so tiny. I worry about her because I'm afraid I'm going to squish her, but my grand dogs are so funny. I told my daughter they're not used to somebody always up moving around, and I'm always moving around. If I'm not piddling with something, I'm cleaning something, but I don't sit down very often, and when I do, I gotta be focused on something. I don't watch TV, so her dogs are not used to somebody moving around a lot. They're used to when their mama comes home from work, she sits under them, and they've not been used to that because they're not used to grandma moving constantly. So it's been very hard for me to sit and just not do anything. So with that said, I can't, because mentally it will help you as far as your ADHD. And I can already tell a big difference. And I told you my PA was just thrilled when I told her I was trying to delegate some things, because I'm just come to a point I can't do everything. I'd like to mow my yard, and I'd like to weed eat and get out and work, but I trying to keep house clean, trying to do, and there's people that can do that, but when you have ADHD, you become a little bit overwhelmed. You don't know where to start. If you have ADHD and you're just feeling a little overwhelmed and you don't know, just delegate some things, okay? And then do things that you enjoy. With my wardrobe, I've been buying a lot of resale stuff. So I haven't really bought anything new as far as clothing. I've bought a lot of resale stuff, and especially on this new platform I was telling y'all about called Vinted, and I'll make sure to leave a link for y'all because you can buy and sell on there. And I've been selling a lot of my clothes on there very inexpensively. And they will sell faster. Like, I've bought some really cute stuff, and I think the most I paid for something was like $18 the other day, and it was a brand new like lounge set, which I'm probably going to wear to work. And you need to check that out. And if you're wanting to sell a lot of your stuff, I've been buying a lot of stuff. Like, I've been buying kimonos for like $5 or less. And list a bunch of my stuff on there to move it out. If I can make a little money, I've made it about $200. Sell it on this little platform, maybe a little more than $200. My bad thing is, instead of depositing it into my account, I just turn around and buy something else. But I've replenished my wardrobe, and like I said, I'm fixing to move a bunch of my clothing out, a bunch of my jewelry out of my own personal stash, so it'll be on there. I probably won't list anything over $10 at the moment, or maybe not even that much. Some of my new jewelry that I buy and resell, like in my booth and stuff, I am selling it for a little more because, to make the money on it. But a lot of my auction jewelry that I've got at auctions, I have sold on there. Some of it was some antique or vintage Sarah Coventry. I sold a necklace the other day that was set, I scanned it, I put it in Google Lens, and I also put it in an app called Curio that I use, and it said it was apple seeds, like seeds from apples. It was some kind of seeds, but I'm not sure if it was apple seeds. But I had got that in auction in I think it was in a box of stuff. And so I sold it the other day for $13. So I was really thrilled about that, and I shipped it. So right now on Vinted everything, there's no shipping charge. There's free shipping. And so you really need to take advantage of that, because you're not having to pay shipping as a buyer or a seller. So that's why I've been able to replenish my wardrobe. So I'm pretty excited about it. I've sold on Poshmark. I've sold on Mercari. The listing fees were getting too crazy. I've sold on eBay. And the shipping cost is just not worth it anymore. So I'd be checking those out. But I'm going to get to work.